You know, folks, MAGA gets really upset whenever we refer to them as Nazis, and to that I would say if it upsets you that we call you that, then you need to start distancing yourself from it and not always be caught aligned with these type of people and not be setting and going to bat for these type of people, because I guarantee you I could read this article to people in the MAGA base and they would say, oh, well, stop calling us Nazis if you disagree with us. I'm not calling people a Nazi because I disagree with them. As a matter of fact, I never have. I've never used that phrase to define someone who I disagree with. I've never called someone I disagree with a racist. I've only called them those things when they done those things and said those things out loud. And also when they wouldn't call these types of stories out. The one that I'm going to read to you here that took place down in Athens, Georgia, which is one of my favorite towns, by the way. My favorite band, the Drive-By Truckers, made their name there, and if you ever get a chance to hear their music or go to one of their homecomings at the 40 Watt, it's one of the best events ever. But anyway, not to get sidetracked on that, just look up DBT and thank me later. We're going to be reading this article here from NBC about this disturbing story, and I can't believe that I'm reading this out loud in 2025, because if you'd have told me back when I was in high school that one day I would be reading an article like this and people like this would be this bold and this embrazened, I would have never believed it. But then along came Donald Trump and he empowered these people to be this bold. So we're going to read this article here from NBC. And again, I thank y'all for supporting what it is that I do. Man in a Nazi uniform assaulted Georgia student after he was denied entry to bar, officials say. The University of Georgia said it was horrified by the actions of an individual who, while in downtown Athens, was wearing a Nazi uniform, assaulted a female student. So a man donned what appeared to be a full Nazi uniform and assaulted a female University of Georgia student outside an office campus bar, the school said Sunday. The disturbance unfolded Thursday night as the man was confronted by patrons and kept outside Cutter's Pub in downtown Athens, according to a representative for the bar and video of the incident. We are horrified by the actions of an individual who, while in downtown Athens, was wearing a Nazi uniform and assaulted a female University of Georgia student, the school said in a statement. The man is not a student and he is not affiliated with the university. His actions, which were caught on videotape, are appalling and are grateful to Athens Clark County police officers for swiftly apprehending and arresting him. The student who was hit was 23-year-old Grace Lang. She identified her attacker as Kenneth Leland Morgan. Lang said she knows of Morgan through a friend of a friend and that he is known in her circles and around town. Lang said two of her friends, one of whom is Jewish, first confronted the man. She was mainly just telling him that he needed to leave and he needed to go home. Video of the encounter shows the man walking around with a beer mug and swinging it at a woman, seemingly striking her in the face as she goes down. Lang said she got hit by a beer mug after trying to grab the man's swastika armband. He was just feeling very proud of himself for what he was wearing, said Lang, who said she got 4 stitches for the cuts to her face. Athens Clark County jail records showed that Morgan was booked into custody early Friday. Morgan, who was born in 1992, was booked on suspicion of 2 misdemeanor counts of simple battery and 1 felony count of aggravated assault. Jail records didn't reflect if Morgan had been hired or appointed an attorney to speak on his behalf. He remained in custody on Sunday. The university called the costume man's act heinous, anti-Semitic behavior and told students who witnessed it that counselors are available throughout the school. Folks, I would like to talk to you about Chapter. Medicare is supposed to benefit seniors, but it can be so confusing. And with many agents chasing commissions instead of caring about folks, millions of seniors end up on plans that aren't right for them every year, paying too much or not getting the care that they need. And that's just wrong. Listen, Medicare annual enrollment runs from October 15th through December 7th. Even if you like your current Medicare plan, it's critical to look at 2026 plans or you risk losing coverage you need. That's because plans change every year and some just disappear. That's why I want you to know about Chapter. They're the only advisors that check every plan nationwide to make sure you get one that works best for you. Their help is free and they can review your options in under 20 minutes. If you're on the right plan, they'll tell you. If not, they'll help you switch. By doing this, they've saved people an average of $1,100 a year. So call Chapter today, get it done fast, and rest easy. You can reach them at 314-732-0423. But what I would like to see more than ever is I would love to see people on the right come together and call this stuff out and distance themselves from this. This should be the moment in the debates where we all agree. This should be the moments in the debate where that we say, you know what, we're in agreement with this when we stand together and we stand against this level of hate. But when Adam Mockler was talking with, for Midas Touch, Adam Mockler was talking with one of Charlie Kirk's buddies on a panel. He couldn't get that guy to condemn white supremacy. And we covered that here on the show before. But it's crazy to me that they won't call it out. And the reason they won't call it out and go hard in the paint against it is because they realize now just how much of their base that's made up of. And so they don't want to call it out and distance themselves from that because they put winning over anything else. And I don't think they see anything wrong with this, folks. You could always argue that, yeah, this person had free speech and they were allowed to do whatever they wanted to do. And that may be true. As bad as I hate to say it, that type of speech is protected under the First Amendment. So, yeah, he's free to walk around town dressed that way if he wants to, but businesses do not have to allow him in. You know, we've had debates for years. You've heard MAGA and you've heard conservatives say, well, this baker over here shouldn't have to bake a wedding cake for a gay couple. Okay, well, if that's the kind of logic you want to have, we could easily turn this and say, well, we don't want to serve anyone who's dressed like a full-blown Nazi with a swastika on his arm. And it's amazing to me how these people are just so bold and so brazen and so out there and so in your face, and they do not care. And when you have someone like J.D. Vance who won't call it out, Trump who won't call it out, and no MAGA influencer who will call it out, then all it does is sits back and empowers more people to think that it's okay and empowers more people to go out and do it. And I can just tell you, there was a time when I was growing up that right there would have absolutely got your ass kicked. You wouldn't have had a chance to walk in a place years ago. And I guarantee you, if my grandfather had been alive, he wasn't the biggest dude in the world, but he would have bounced that dude so fast no one would have knew what hit him. Because that's how that people like that used to be treated. And now they're coddled, and now they're in one of the biggest political movements in the country. They've completely hijacked the Republican Party, and now that's the type of people that we're up against. But what I want to see is I want to see more people calling this out, and I want to see us find something to agree on. And you know what? We may never agree on a whole lot of things. You guys may love Donald Trump to the end of the world, and that's your right to do so. Love him if you want to, and I'll be over here hating his guts. But could we come together and agree that Nazis are bad? How is that such a hard thing to ask? I mean, we're in the United States of America. This should be the easiest layup in history that we all agree on this one. The fact that we're divided over this, and the fact that they love to spin it and say, well, you're just calling us that because you disagree with us is ridiculous. I can tell you that if I was out at a No Kings protest and looked over and seen people waving Nazi flags, I would be like, hold on a minute, what the fuck are those people doing here? They are in no way associated with us. Get them the hell out of here. Or I would move to where I was seen nowhere near them. I would get as far away from them as I possibly could. And when people said, why were those people at your protest? I would have said, we have nothing to do with those people. Those people do not represent us. We don't know why in the hell they were there. I wouldn't sit here and go, well, we can talk about it. Yeah, I mean, it's freedom of speech. And don't just call us that because you disagree with us. I'll tell you how you can find a Nazi real quick. All you got to do is just post on social media. Just post, fuck the Nazis. And if you do that, whoever chimes into your comment section to say, don't call us Nazis if you disagree with us, those are your Nazis. That's pretty much the way I look at it. I feel like that you can be guilty by association. You may not be hard in the paint, white supremacist. You may not be hard in the paint, racist or Nazi. But if you tolerate this stuff and you don't call it out and condemn it, then you're guilty by association. And in my mind, that's just as bad.